Hey guys, welcome back to CTP. We are coming to you live from the Wolfie's Hot Dog Studios here in Chicago. We're on Facebook Live, and we are joined tonight by the one and only Big C. As you can see, Big C, Chris Castro. How's it going, man?
What's going on, Lance? Good to see you.
I feel like this is one of those, like Brian will always do when Brian does his shows. He'll talk about guys that he's known forever that he never really talked to all that much, and that's kind of how I feel about you and I. Like, we've seen each other at shows many times and talked many times, but we've never really sat down and shot the shit. So that's what this is all about. So welcome on, man.
Hey, it's good to be here, and it's good to actually get to know you a little better than actually just passing shows.
At the shows, exactly. So I will tell you, I always do homework for my shows, and when I looked up Chris Castro on Google, the first thing that comes up is a dude who is the Director of Sustainability and Resilience for the city of Orlando, Florida. So do you ever get emails, like wrong emails for that guy? Because that sounds like an important dude.
So that's a new one to me. I have not gotten his emails yet. I know there's I believe there's a singer-songwriter in Mexico who has the same name as well, which would be ironic. I'm also Mexican, so I haven't gotten those emails neither. Funny story. I actually had someone in high school named Christian Castro, and then later down the line in life, I met a girl whose name was Christina Castro, and now I know a guy who the Freelance shows who also is named Chris Castro. So it's just, we're everywhere. All right.
Yeah. You could possibly be the 12th in line to overrule Cuba or something. Maybe you can take over Cuba at some point. There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think that for whatever reason, I think that you started as a backyard wrestler, or is that like an insult? Is that a dirty word?
Absolutely not. Not in my book, man. Everyone has to start somewhere. You could start in professional wrestling. You can start your friend's backyard. I started and I didn't even start in the backyard. I started like a freaking forest preserve behind a high school, and that's where I got my feet wet when it came to any type of performing art of professional wrestling or wrestling in general.
So I feel like you have been around since the beginning of Freelance. I feel like from the very first shows, I feel like you've been at every show. I don't know that there's been too many that you've missed. We've talked about, this is Freelance month, so we've had a couple shows about the promotion, and we've been doing it for a couple years now. And so the four main places that stand out for me are the Abbey, Bottom Lounge, Chop Shop, and Logan Square. So Abbey was the very first shows that I went to. I think that was the first shows for the group, right?
Correct. The Abbey Pub was the home of Freelance, and random fact, I was the first main event at the first Freelance show at the Abbey Pub.
Very cool. Very cool. So how has it changed? I mean, I know we haven't had very many shows to talk about in the last year or so, but how has it changed from those early days at the Abbey to, like, say, the most recent show roughly a year ago at Logan Square? What are the major differences, you would say?
I'd say just the size in general of all of Freelance itself. I mean, we went from some bar venue that was on Bar Rescue that we would completely just at one point fill to its max capacity, to jumping around to like the Chop Shop, which was my least favorite venue, to be honest. I mean, it had this cool perks, to my favorite music venue of Chicago all time, the Bottom Lounge, to now we're selling out Logan Square Auditorium. All right, Logan Square is the home, and I love it. And just watching the transition from each little section and grabbing a piece of just our, I guess I can say, clientele. Like, we originally didn't have normal wrestling fans. We just had people who were interested in a pro wrestling show, which I believe we turned into wrestling fans. And hey, people from around the neighborhood were like, "Oh, there's pro wrestling coming here. Let's check it out." And we would grab little bits of those types of people in each venue. And now we have this huge monster of a show, of a company now. And just watching it evolve from that first show that I mentioned earlier with like maybe 50 people to now we're getting like 400 or 500 people crammed into the Logan Auditorium, selling it out. Dude, like, this was our baby. And you know, it's growing. It's going and it's going strong.
So I know you said you didn't like Chop Shop. So for the listeners and the viewers, Chop Shop was like it was a weird venue because at the front end of the building, it was a restaurant. It was like a hipster sausage place, literally like a sausage place. They were like a kind of an upscale hipster deli, and they served food, and I think they had a bar there too. I'm pretty sure they had a bar.
Oh yeah, they had a
Um,
bar. I've been there before for other things like music things like that. The bar's actually not bad. It's
and
the
then
deli is cool, but the hipsters, that's what
right,
I'm not
exactly.
about.
And then at the back end of the building, there was like a big room where you guys had the ring, and it was an awkward setup. I mean, I didn't really dislike it. You have a completely different perspective than I would have, I'm sure, as a fan, but I didn't dislike it, but it didn't seem to fit. I don't know, it
Yeah.
just didn't seem to fit with what you guys were doing at the time. So whereas Logan Square, like you said, Logan Square is it's a total win.
Oh, yeah. I've been
So,
to for both places like that. I've watched bands there countless of times, especially Logan Square. I've watched bands when I was younger there. Chop
mhm,
Shot, I've managed to go there for like one or two concerts, but still, I mean, the Chop Shot looked cool if it was bigger. It was
mhm.
too small for us, absolutely too small, and that's why we had to go back to the bottom mountains for that little bit.
Yeah, you're right, because the seating, there was like two rows of seating on each side of the ring, and it was kind of tight. It was definitely tight. Although that was the place where you and Nix did that all crazy ass match where you guys tore the ring apart. What was that? That's like one of the matches that really stands out in my head about your career is that match with him where you guys ripped the ring apart.
Yeah, we wanted to do something different. Like it was still not common to see something that crazy happen at a local show, and I guess we just pulled off. I mean, we were trying to put each other off the second floor balcony at that point, and then let's get to the next extreme. The next thing I know, Nick was tearing the flooring of the ring apart, and
Right.
we had a bare floor. But
Yeah.
that the Chicago Street Fight is my bread and butter there, so it was one of my favorite matches.
Definitely. Yeah, as a fan, it definitely was memorable for sure. So I was going to say one of the very first things that I thought when I first saw you and him together as the four-star heroes, which I want to know how that came about, but one of the first things I thought when I first saw you guys was that you guys were very much Samoa Joe influenced. And I don't know if the word ever got back to you that I thought that, but I thought, okay, your gear was Samoa Joe-ish. You guys both had this quiet toughness about you that kind of resembled Samoa Joe, I thought, and just really hard hitting. So I always thought from day one that, oh yeah, these guys are definitely Samoa Joe fans because you were pulling it off. So was I completely off base, or was there any bit of semblance of reality to that?
I mean, you're very close.
Okay.
I definitely had the Samoa Joe esque of gear because I mean, I'll be honest with you, he's absolutely one of my top favorite wrestlers and favorite influencers all the time. And I just found this place that like I was into just the big baggy short looking the look at the time. So I found somewhere I can get that kind of gear made, and I made it, and it fit my character at the time. And me and Nix, we were put together as a tag team at Resistance Pro just because we were both there and we were both close friends and we just knew each other. So it was like, well, we only have one matching set of gear. How about you? I'll show you where I got my stuff from. The best part is it was pretty cheap to make, so he was all down for it, and it was fast. So we
Yeah.
both got matching fighting trunks, and we just ran with that for a while.
And so four-star heroes obviously harkens back to the fact that you guys are both from Chicago and love Chicago. It seems like everything about both you guys' acts over the years is all about Chicago.
Oh yeah, the name actually originally stemmed for our original tag team name, which was called the Two Star Heroes, and there was a lot of drama behind that. Where we're like, F this, we're the 4-star heroes now. We we love the city, and this amazing, beautiful flag has 4 stars, and that's what we represent now.
Was two-star heroes like a jab at Meltzer or something?
No, the 2-star heroes was a jab of us from some of the heads at Resistance Pro saying, "Well, you guys are not having 2-star matches, so we'll start you off as a 2-star heroes, and you guys are definitely more than that eventually." And like, oh, okay, so this is someone's ribbing us, but we'll just run with
Yeah.
it, I guess.
So yeah, and you made it work. You made it work. It ended up being a really great, entertaining team for until you guys turned on each. Well, he turned on you and the whole nine
Yeah.
yards. One of the early matches that I found when I was getting ready for this was a match with you and Ricochet, and it was in a group called Dreamwave, which I never heard much about Dreamwave, but it was you and Ricochet. How far back was that?
Shoot, that was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was definitely before it was way before he got signed. Well, not maybe before,
Yeah.
but Dreamwave. Dreamwave was one of my favorite spots. I faced a lot of people there that no one knows because this footage It's just sitting somewhere, but it's in the internet. I just got to find it as well.
Yeah, the Ricochet match is on YouTube, and what cracked me up is I'm watching the match, and first off, the announcers refer to you as a big Samoan, and I'm like, hey, all right, I was right about the Samoa Joe comment because they called you a big Samoan, which cracked me up. And you submitted Ricochet, so you guys went 15 minutes. It was probably the best match I've ever seen you in. Just working with a guy like that has got to bring out the best in you, and the fact to see you go 15 minutes, that's pretty long for you, isn't it?
Yeah, that was one of my more longer matches, but I was in like good shape or all right shape at the time, and it was just they kept on pumping me guys where I just had to like stay on top of it. Like I had Ricochet 1 month, I had Tommaso Ciampa 1 month. I was in a big scramble match with Trevor Lee was in it. I've definitely gone against like Speedball Mike Bailey, who's a big guy and big well-known guy in Canada, and Ruby Riott, who's well back then it was
Sally Stitches.
Sally Stitches, or something else too. I forgot, but
Heidi Lovelace.
Heidi Lovelace, yeah, that was in another. That was actually I think the same scramble too, which she gave me this really gnarly reverse Rana. It looked great
for a thin girl. Wow, she pulled it off. So with a guy like Ricochet, how does a guy like that get lost? I mean, the guy had. I mean, even in that match back in the day, he showed all the talent. Shows all the talent now. How does a guy like that get lost where he's at today? How do they lose focus on him?
I don't know. Like I don't know how WWE. Like I kind of know. You just hear things through the grapevine of how they treat certain people, and it's unfortunate. He's a great talent. He was very professional, and he was like he definitely can push you to another level. So I don't know why they're not taking more advantage of him.
For sure. Lost in the shuffle, which doesn't make any sense. So all right. So switching gears, we talked about when you were teaming with Nyx. Have you ever played heel? I mean, that match you did a little bit of heel stuff, but I feel like everything I've ever seen you in with Freelance has always been babyface.
It's kind of funny because most of the places I wrestle here in just Illinois in general, I'm usually a babyface, and I love it here. And then for some reason, if I'm outside of the state lines, I hate it. All right, Wisconsin, hated. Indiana, hated. St. Louis, they hate me in St. Louis.
So it feels like over the years it's gotten to be a little bit more and more gradually more comedy with you, and I don't know if it always was comedy, but I just feel like you exude kind of a natural goofiness, so I feel like the comedy probably comes easily to you, and yet on the other hand you're kind of a quiet guy. So what's the easier style for you to work, like comedy or just straightforward like brawling style?
I can do everything. I like to do a little bit of both. I shouldn't say everything because everyone's different, but I like to do a little bit of both. There's to a point you need to stop messing around and serious. Switch it on like that. I'm getting my butt beat. I gotta win.
Yeah.
So I like the comedy. I like comedy to a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, I see like the comedy matches, like when the what are they called, the gimmick battle royals. In the gimmick battle royals, where you'll do the different characters. You've done Foley, you've done all the different characters there, which is a lot of fun all the time. And then I've seen you brawling, like when you do the cowboy dude, Rough Crossing. When you do brawling with a guy like that, those have got to be. It's got to be like, is it difficult to switch gears?
No. I mean, you just adapt. That's one of the things I've been trying to do myself for the past since COVID started, because I need to do something different. Like I feel like I still even haven't found myself yet in wrestling. I mean, I'm almost there, I think. But Rough Crossing definitely did a lot for my career. He pulled something out of me that I haven't seen in years. I don't know if you were at the show. I can't remember, but like there was a pass in me that came back. It's basically the best way I can describe it. Like, remember, how you see on like TV shows where there's like a devil and there's an angel on the person's shoulder.
Right.
Well, that devil came out that,
yeah,
because he got kind of sick and tired of me getting my butt kicked. So kind of had a little help in here, but I'm kind of finding myself a little more. So we're going to see. He's kind of like nagging at me since we haven't been wrestling in the past year, because I'm trying to keep safe. I keep my coworkers safe here, making my family safe. So he's kind of like knocking on the
Yeah, I mean, you guys had a good chemistry for sure. And you've had a lot of guys come through Freelance, a lot of celebrity, I guess, quote unquote, celebrities come through Freelance. Who are some of your favorite guys to work with or work around, I should say?
Oh man, Grado was one of the funnest people.
Really?
One of the best persons to do. He's just so funny, so nice, and of course, Cabana too, because I see him like every other week when he comes over here to PWTs. Of course, James Drake and Anthony.
Anthony Henry.
I'm blanking on right
Henry.
now. Anthony Henry. Those guys were bringing the mean out of me. So those guys were fun.
Yeah, great to work with. So, all right, so we're low on time. So time is up on Facebook. We're going to be switching over. So if you're watching us on the Shooting a Shiznit Facebook page, stick with us. Go to YouTube if you want to follow us there. Stay with us, and we will be right back with part 2 of Chris Castro. We're going to pay some bills, take a quick commercial timeout, and we'll be right back. I don't know if they see any of that, but all right. So we're going to count down and start part 2. Hang on 1 second. All right. I'm going to throw you a curveball.
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, I think I emailed that to you. Like, language is fine. For sure.
Okay, so, I wasn't too sure. So I'll be more relaxed now.
Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah, I saw you double clutch on one of the lines on one of them. But okay. All right. You ready, dude?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, let's do this.
All right, so we are back with part 2 with Chris Castro here on Chokehold the podcast. So I just asked you who were some of your favorite guys to work with of the celebrities that have come through. Any names you're willing to part with that are your least favorite to have worked with coming through Freelance?
Not really. Like everybody through Freelance, I enjoyed it. Just we usually get pretty good guys, but that doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed people who I've wrestled outside Freelance.
Oh, okay. All right. Any names you want to share there?
No. Oh, screw it. Yeah, I'll share one name because he's a fucking prick.
There we go.
At this point in my career, I don't care, and I probably won't run into him professionally. I mean, as a guy outside of wrestling, he's great. I've had like conversations at like the Comic Cons, and he was fine. But in wrestling world, fucking Jay Bradley's a piece of shit.
Really? Okay. I thought you were going to go Joey Ryan there, but okay. So I figured Joey Ryan would be a safer target.
People like Joey Ryan are not worth any of my breath nowadays. If anything else, if Joey Ryan died tomorrow, I wouldn't even bat an eye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad what came from all that and what may still to be yet to come. But hopefully the business will be changing somewhat and everybody's going to feel safe where they're working. So, all right, change gears a little bit. Your merch. So everything is Chicago style hot dogs. You are the king of Chicago style. Now I'm seeing you're the punk of pizza. So it's always Chicago related and it's always food related. So like what's the meaning behind any of that for those of the people who don't know how good the food in Chicago is?
Oh man, it's just for the fact that Chicago has so many different outlets of like food. I mean, okay, I'll say it. We have the best pizza. We have our Chicago style hot dog, which is a million different things, which also helps with like the kind of technique and wrestling I have. We have an Italian beef. We have deli sandwiches. We have so many good things here. We have Rick Benny's breaded steak sandwich. How do you not mention that in the frame? I mean, when it comes to professional wrestling in Chicago, what I mean by Chicago style, King of Chicago style, you got your standard American wrestling. You got definitely Lucha Libre, for sure. I mean, Galley Lucha Libre, me and Nick were tag team champions there. Shoot, you sometimes get your European style wrestlers coming through and you learn a little bit from them. All right. I've tried to adapt and take over as much as every technique I can into my repertoire. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing I've been trying to do is just watch tapes and just everything and just make it a style, which is just intricate. I mean, look at the hot dog. You got your steamed bun with poppy seeds. You got your all beef frank. You got a pickle. You got a tomato. You still got your green relish. You got your onions. and you got your sport peppers, and you got your celery salt. I mean, look at all that.
Yep.
That's a Mod Podge of stuff. That's what my style is like. It's a Mod
There
Podge
we
of
go.
stuff. I can be a high flyer. I can be a submission wrestler. I can be a brawler. I can be a powerhouse. I can be a lucha libre star. I'm trying to do everything I can. I don't want to be one thing. I want to be multiple things.
One of the things I was going to bring up actually is the fact that when I see you do the dives and the aerial type stuff, I always figure you add that into the matches just to surprise the hell out of the fans. Like, because you're a bigger dude, they may not expect to see a guy like your size doing the dives outside the ring, doing the planches, doing the crazy stuff that you do. So hats off to you for pulling it off, because it always looks good.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing. That's why I try to pull it off at Freelance shows, because these people are in for a show, so I'm going to give them something they're going to come back and watch.
Yeah.
All right. I can do. My favorite move to do is an assigned move, and sometimes I add a corkscrew to that. I used to, in my younger days, maybe like 7-8 years ago, I used to be able to do a shooting star press from the top.
Nice.
I mean, I got some, great thing to work off from COVID, but I can probably start doing that again in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Cross my fingers on that one.
Yeah, hopefully. So they'll insert you in the Haas fights too. Sometimes they'll put you in with the bigger dudes because, again, you're one of the bigger guys that works for Freelance. So do you have a preference? I mean, it seems like you're talking about it pretty openly here too. Like your style, you can adapt to whoever you're in there with. So you enjoy doing Haas fights with guys like Crossing or Craig Mitchell for that matter?
Oh yeah, Crossing definitely. He brought the house out of me again. I haven't done a Haas fight in a while like that. Craig Mitchell, if I can face him again, Craig Mitchell is absolutely one of my best friends. I've known that kid since I was 16. If I can have a more recent match with him, man, we would make some magic again. James Drake, he was still around in the Indies. Man, I would love to go a one-on-one match with him. But man, like those are one of my favorite fights. Just to beat the shit out of each other. That's so much fun.
So those are guys, I mean, you kind of answered. I was going to ask you, who do you feel you have good chemistry with? I mean, obviously you kind of answered that. Anybody that you would say you have bad chemistry with? Anybody that you just, for whatever reason, it just wasn't clicking?
Not to be honest, I can't think of anyone from the top of my head. I mean, you try to work as best you can with everybody, but I can't really think of anybody. There's one guy named Senshi. He was out of Chikara, but that you make do. You turn shit into chicken salads. That's one of the more famous sayings in wrestling. So you just try to work with the best you can with somebody. And I've only had a handful of matches that I know I could have done better, that we both could have done better, but nothing at the top of my head that still didn't perform pretty well.
Yeah. All right, so let's pull back the curtain. You can kind of see, the viewers can kind of see the what's behind you, but where you're at is Pro Wrestling Tees, and you work there. You manage it, I think.
So I manage the retail store. Well, my boss tells me he's the manager of the retail store, so I took that to heart. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I am. But when I'm not busy, because I have other jobs, of course, in the back as well. But when I'm not busy, I'll try to take all my attention and put it to the store, make it look nice. Unfortunately, with COVID being a thing, we haven't been able to. We have, but there sometimes isn't point of restocking some more newer stuff because we're not having as many people as we used to. I mean, people are doing the smart thing and not coming in, but when they do, we have stuff out there. Not as much new stuff as we should. I mean, if we have new stuff out there, we're not getting as much people. Like I said, we're not getting as much people. So this new stuff is not so new within the past, 4 or 5 weeks later. And then we're trying to do the best we can with certain times.
Sure. So how did 2020 affect you guys? Like, did it blow up? I mean, did your sales, like the mail order, obviously the internet sales, have they exploded? Did they suffer in 2020? Are there peaks and valleys? Like you would imagine, like Black Friday, obviously, when AEW does something special, it probably blows up. When certain things happen in wrestling, like an Orange Cassidy thing happens, it probably blows up. So what are some of the effects of 2020 on you guys?
I mean, we're still pretty busy. I mean, it slowed down for the first, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks after COVID was officially putting businesses on the shelf for now. But we're still considered essential since we 1 hour T side. that we do supply some personnel with clothes and stuff like that, like emergency personnel and like construction workers and stuff like that. They're still doing okay on that end. When it comes to the pro wrestling T side, yeah, I think we were still like 2 or 3 weeks, and then how much AEW is progressing and just going up in the rankings, it's keeping us busy. It's keeping me really busy because I'm the guy who does all the masks and gaiters for pro wrestling T's and AEW shop. So I've been super busy this year.
Yeah. So is it like, I swear, there's times where I feel like when you guys are doing like the Black Friday sale and things like that, where I feel like there must be people there 24 hours a day. It just seems like you guys have the demand must be there where you guys are there 24 hours a day, or you bring in more people to work or something.
Oh no, there's no for us to be here 24 hours a day. They tell us what we need to do, and we dish it out. Like we have a good, really good team. So there is no need to do super long hours. I mean, we can. I mean, I do because I like money. Who doesn't? But we dish it out. I mean, sometimes we might have incidents where, like today, where it snows like 20 inches. It slows down production, but the next day we're back on it. And if we have to, we'll go like, oh yeah, you guys want to work Saturday? Let's do it. Let's get this stuff out. We can't let the people wait.
Yeah, so, it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, runs itself sometimes.
So what percentage of I know you guys do other stuff other than wrestling stuff. What percentage of it is not wrestling?
That's hard for me to say. I do sometimes do stuff for 1 hour tees. We also have other websites under the umbrella. Like we have we had Barbershop Window, which dissolved into Pro Wrestling Tees. We have a website called Below the Collar. If you're an artist or in a band, you can sign up, that kind of thing. A normal podcast that's not involved wrestling. Anything that's not involved wrestling, you want a shirt store or merchandise store, Below the Collar is one of our things. A bunch of stuff that we can do still. So we're not totally just wrestling. So when it comes to percentage wise, I think 10-15% of whatever other companies is there.
Yeah,
it's a non-wrestling. On top of, there's more percentages. Of course, comes our 1 hour tease stuff. Just like certain seasons, 1 hour tease is more busy and not as busy during the year. Like the summer, 1 hour tease, they're swamped.
And then, so when's like a downtime, if there is such a thing?
Downtime? Maybe right after Christmas. Even right after Christmas is not that. It's not. Yeah, because we got our Black Friday sale all said and done, and then with the last minute sales, like, oh, we need gifts and stuff like that. Even after Christmas, there's not that much downtime after that, because then you get our New Year's Eve sale, New Year's Day sale. We got our New Japan Wrestle Kingdom sale. There is maybe a month or two out of the year where we're just normal hours, maybe a little less hours for the week because, it's not as popping, but usually pretty much throughout the whole year, we're running on full blast and just getting everything done, having no trouble with hours and slow time and such like that.
Very cool. I saw a clip, Pat Tomasulo from Channel 9 was doing like a comedy bit at the store, and you were standing right behind him. I don't even know what it was. He was doing some bad like Macho Man imitation or something. You were standing right behind him, counting in your register as fake as could be. Like you're just counting the same money over and over again. And I'm trying to remember what was that clip. I know I saw it and I'm like, what the hell were they doing? Some kind of comedy bit at the store.
So he was just trying to butcher the Macho Man gimmick so much, and man, was I just cringing. I shouldn't really. If you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. But
there we go. All right, he's been funnier on other bits. Let's just put it that way. So, all right, I'm going to name a few names. Tell me what you think of these people or who these people are. Wayne Campbell. Who the hell is Wayne Campbell?
Wayne Campbell. Oh, why is this so familiar?
This is a brain teaser, apparently.
Wayne Campbell.
Wayne Campbell was when I was researching you.
Go ahead. Sorry.
They said that Wayne Campbell was another name that you wrestled under. And I'm like, I never heard that. And you don't look like a Wayne Campbell. Yeah, it was on some website I found.
Wayne
Wayne Campbell.
Oh my God. Yeah. We were, I think I was at Chikara when Chikara was still really big. Me and Nick, we and Nick were, I was Wayne Campbell and Nick was something Garth. They basically
Oh,
named us like Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World.
gotcha. So you did
I
it like one
completely forgot
time and that
about
was
that.
it. That's so funny that it was listed as one of your pseudonyms, Wayne Campbell. So all right, Steve
Can't believe
Boz,
you
or is it
found that.
Boz or Boz? B-O-Z. Steve Boz. It
It's
listed Steve
Boz.
Boz
Steve
as
Boz.
your
He is my
trainer.
trainer.
Yeah. So I don't know who that
Correct.
is. Is he based in
Matt
Chicago?
Nix. Oh yeah, Steve Boz. He the BOZ. All right, that's what
Hmm.
superstar Steve Boz, whatever he goes by now. He was our trainer, my trainer, Matt Nix trainer, Kenny Sousa's trainer, Alex Olson's trainer. We all came up with him. That's our friend group right there. So the BOZ, he actually did some enhancement talent matches for WWE back in the day. Like
Got it.
he was for sure on Shotgun Saturday Night, which was
Okay.
amazing. Um, he what else have he done? I'm pretty sure he did some enhancement talent stuff like that. He's wrestled Christopher Daniels back in Windy City Pro Wrestling, a really large crowd. But yeah, he knows a couple people, so he's the guy who trained all of us.
So he must be pretty good because you guys all turned out really good. At
Yeah,
least
well,
in this fan's
he definitely
opinion.
did as well. I mean, yeah. I
So
mean,
all right.
we also had the privilege. He taught us in a 20-foot by 20-foot ring.
Oh, God. And left you to figure it out for yourselves.
No, he taught us really well. He taught us
Yeah.
enough, and he gave us all some good advice to go to seminars and just travel and try to do the best you can. Don't embarrass yourself.
Hmm. So Matt Cage, who is Matt Cage to you, and where is he now? For the record.
Matt Cage, he also after a while I started getting trained by him. He actually helped me definitely my career in Dreamwave. He did put the confidence in me. We were a very good team. I was protege, and
Hmm.
he was my coach. And back then in Dreamwave, he helped me with my just heel persona, and it helped me find
Hmm.
myself a little more. And it got me out of a rut that I didn't want to be anymore. And with that, I will thank him for that at least. But nowadays, Matt Cage is retired from pro wrestling, I believe. I haven't talked to him and seen him in maybe 3 years, but he actually used to work
Okay.
here for a little while
Okay.
until he actually had something else to do. So I'll
So
be thankful for what Matt Cage did for me in wrestling.
got it. Reading between the lines. Okay. So you've started doing like some video game streaming, some Twitch type stuff. I feel like when I hear about you guys doing that kind of stuff, it's like the OnlyFans, but for the guys. It's basically a way for you guys to make some money during the pandemic. So what are you doing? What else are you doing besides the wrestling and pro wrestling tees?
Well, I do the Twitch stream. Basically, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. Like, besides music and pro wrestling, video games is also my other love and passion. And if I can still entertain people without risking my life currently, or my health, I should say, not my life. Well, yeah, my life, but I'm gonna do it with something I love. And my favorite go-to things are survival horror games, which is just zombie survival games, uh, demon destroying games and whatnot. I usually do that during the week. Weekends I'll do something different, or I won't stream at all. But uh, I just finding all the tools I need to make my streams look professional has
Hmm.
been a lifesaver, and I just been incorporating that into my Twitch streams now, which has been helping. So Twitch streaming is like my go-to nowadays until everything gets better.
Cool. So what do you see going forward? What do you see in 2021? How do you see the year turning out for us, for freelance, for yourself?
I see things are starting to come back up. I mean, with these vaccinations coming around, uh, which I'm still on the fence with, but it seems like a lot more people are getting them, and there's been a lot of less issues.
Hmm.
So that is a positive. More companies are coming out with their patents and their finished products. Like I heard Johnson and Johnson is coming out with
Hmm.
theirs. and that's a good sign. When it comes to wrestling, I mean, I think I'm hoping Freelance will start having shows normally again, maybe either the end of the year or beginning of 2022. And myself, I want to go back to trading. I'm not going to go in large groups. I rather go in a small group of 4 or 5 where I feel comfortable, and with people I know as well who are keeping themselves safe. So who knows? I might be doing shows again outside of Freelance by the end of the year. That's if I decide the vaccine. I haven't gotten the vaccine yet. But we'll see.
Yeah. I hope that, sometime throughout the course of the year, they can start going back, go into Logan Square, lesser capacity, obviously, social distancing. I think it can be done. It's going to have to look a little bit different than what we're used to, from being packed in there like sardines on a Friday night and everybody's blitzed. It's definitely, I mean, there's still going to be a crowd. They're still going to make noise. They're still going to be getting into it, I'm sure, but it's going to be different than what we're used to for sure. So, all right. So we're running low on time. What are you a fan of? What promotions? What do you watch?
Promotions. I mean, just right now, like the big ones so far. I mean, we're getting this huge Mod Podge of interpromotional help and just, I mean, you've got your AEW, you got just Impact, New Japan, AAA, NWA. I am excited for that. All right. Cause that is a different outlet to compare to what we've had for the past other years from the other guys.
Forever.
And just all the independents trying to work. Yeah. And all the independents trying to work together, especially with GCW doing all these collective shows. Yeah. And all these wrestlers put in all these all these new styles of wrestling out there so people can cope with it and be entertained and wrestling fix. GCW is a big one. I mean, they've let us come into the collective with Freelance and Freelance Underground. That's a huge thing. I mean, who else is doing that? They have the power to do that, and that's why they're doing it. So anyone who's been incorporated with GCW, anyone, that's a go-to to watch. And I've actually been watching a lot of old school All Japan and Pancrase, just spice it up.
I mean, we always say that right now it's the golden era for us as fans because we have access to everything. I mean, back in the day, tape trading or whatever we had, if we were lucky, you had just a handful of channels on TV. But man, between streaming and all the various networks and everything, it's the golden era for us right now as fans for sure. So, all right. So the last question, I try to make this a staple. You kind of talked about food earlier. What's your favorite junk food?
Oh, man. Tacos, of course.
There we go. Cool.
It can be authentic, like from my parents, or I can go to Taco Bell if they're not, willing to make me anything. It don't matter. Taco, hot ass sauce.
There we go. All right. So where can people find you? Where are you at on social media?
My Facebook fan page, which I barely go on. I should probably go on more. My Facebook fan page is facebook.com/Chris Castro Wrestling. If you're a fan of me, go there. Everything else, including my Twitter, my Instagram, my Twitch. I don't know if Tumblr's still a thing, but I never post on there anymore. It's at Castropolis. It's going to be my last name, CASTROPOLLIS. All my other social media is at that tag. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, what have you.
And the merch.
And my Pro Wrestling Tee store, ProWrestlingTees.com. Sorry, ProWrestlingTees.com/Chris Castro. A ton of merch there. There's a lot of Chicago theme. There's a lot of video game theme. There's some band theme stuff. I also have a towel. I have 3 or 4 masks, and I have a flag. So whatever you're into, they're there.
And these guys are busting their asses, and they're not able to do shows right now. So go on to his Pro Wrestling Tee store and order some merch for sure. So thanks so much, Chris, for being with us tonight. Thank you, listeners, for following along on Facebook, on YouTube, on the stream. The audio will be up on this on Wednesday. So thanks again, Chris. Thanks for everything, and hope to see you soon in a show. And don't forget, I have fun everywhere I go.
Awesome. Thank you, Lance. Thanks for the opportunity.